damn it! Answer me, you bastard! Speak now, or I'll stick my foot up in your wazoo, cause we got a job to do. To study is why we were sent here to the zoo. Captain Gooch Gobbler said so, and I do too. There are dissections, amoeba sections, cross sections, different directions. Humans bump in the dark. It's true. There are drug consumption, marma junctions, assumptions forming by gumptions. Humans bump in the dark. They'll fuck you too. There is poetry, philosophy, sodomy, anatomy. Humans bump in the dark. They will bump you. Sensation after correlation and correlation after sensation. Humans bump in the dark. Here's how they grow. Kick it. And we're back to the races. Episode 114. George.
We're not back. This is a whole new episode.
Yeah, but we're back.
No, we're not.
They missed us, and then they said, "Oh, I can't wait till I come back," and now we're back.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, holding things up, the back.
If that's the way you want to look at it.
Well, I still have my pants, and there's something went on my back.
Did you have a blowout?
I could feel it.
My stomach feels very uncomfortable right now.
I felt the whole...
Maybe I ate one of those bugs.
You said you ate a baby's arm, and then we found out it was...
Did you get botulism?
Baby.
Oh, God.
Fucking...
I'm blowing bubbles.
Jesus, I'm going to put you in the bathtub so you can be a hot tub.
Everybody kind of loves and hates their own aroma, right?
Sure.
We're gonna change out this chair when we're done.
I think so.
At least it's not you that's fine for it.
Yeah, that was bad last week.
Was it last week? Because I don't
2 weeks ago.
You here at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. You guys went on
He
vacation.
was here when we weren't, and
he was
he
like, "Where the
farted
fuck
in
are
our
you?
chairs.
You're supposed to pick me up at the bus stop," and I forgot.
Don't worry, a nice old man gave me a ride home. The nun thing was a joke.
Was he a priest?
No, just a regular guy.
Are you sure you weren't the one who became the nun and ended up praying, "Oh God, oh God, oh God"?
No.
Boyd, it's okay. You could tell me.
No.
It's a safe space. Nobody's going to know, not even the listeners.
He was an Uber driver, so chill.
Oh, he's an Uber driver. You know, you can actually get those guys in trouble now.
Oh, for what?
For doing what they did to you.
They
said
did
the
nothing.
Uber driver was...
They didn't do nothing. He literally just played music and we talked and then gave him a tip.
And then you blacked out. Next thing you know, you're on the steps of your own house.
And your butthole
Ready
is
to
really
grab.
sore.
And pray to the porcelain toilet because you think you may have swallowed his bugs.
And then you have a shoe missing. Like, what? Why?
Oh,
Why
man.
is your shoe missing?
At least it wasn't a kidney.
Man.
I think he looked at my kidneys and was like, oh, God, this guy's screwed.
Yeah?
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, he did say you were screwed.
Yeah, I don't think it was about your kidneys, so.
No, he might have tried to fuck you till your kidneys got screwed, but that's not how that works.
They're making that up. That's not true.
Who?
You.
Me?
Oh,
Me?
so
Never.
you've never had it in your ass.
You... Okay, Void. You don't have to answer that, Void.
We already know.
But
the
I pooped
answer.
from there. Why would I do that?
Because it feels good.
I poop from my ass, too, and I've had dicks up there
Yeah.
many
Well,
times.
I'm not really interested in that, so.
That's
you were
a
interested
lie.
last time.
Not myself.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you didn't have your own fists up there.
You don't
want to
put your 6x6 up your
or
own butt.
baby arm, whatever
Yeah.
you're calling it
You're
now.
putting baby arms up your butt.
Just stop getting the detachables.
Yeah, you might want to have the Lunchables. Okay, let's talk about this dude, okay?
Okay.
Who is he?
George Berkeley.
That's right.
Yeah. Once upon a time, there was a human named William Berkeley. In Mr. Berkeley's later life, he was described as a gentleman by his eldest male offspring, George Berkeley. A younger reproduction of William Berkeley had described the Willie as a commissioned officer. To be more specific, William was a cornet of dragoons.
I thought you said Willie.
Yeah, Willie. William, Willie. Willie, Willie, Willie.
I don't know.
So, as Willie, as Willie does, as, the cornet of dragoons, Willie ended up being one of those humans on one of those high horses. Those characters that bounce up and down on a rather large stag, wearing some brightly colored clothes in order to be more visible in war.
Sure.
Also, a metaphor for thinking someone's more morally right, but just basically just as corrupt as anyone else.
I mean, you could use that as a metaphor, but no, he was literally one of those dudes. He rolled up on the horse, brightly colored uniform, being an easily spotted target in war. One of those dudes. So anyways, William Berkeley lived long enough to copulate with a female sapien of the homo by the year of 1684. I imagine it was in the month of July, somewhere around the 12th of July, about 9 months before March 12th. And, and the year was 1685 when the first batch of reproduction came out of, William's, woman. So George Berkeley was born. Yeah, no name was given for George Berkeley's mother. It was not my choice to not name her at all.
Okay, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was just a baby maker, apparently.
Yep. She had no other identity.
She probably got, put away inside an asylum when she went crazy.
Probably.
Yeah.
Hey, you fixed the shoe rack.
I did.
Thank you.
You're welcome. George Berkeley was born in, near, or around 3 listed places according to Britannica. We have Jamestown, Desert Castle, and Kilkenny. To make sense of this, all you need to do is look up Desert Castle, which comes up as ruins of a castle that once flourished in the county of Kilkenny, near Jamestown.
You think that's where South Park got the idea?
I was thinking that.
We should ask them.
Well, there's probably a Kilkenny in Colorado, because I know there's one in Texas.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Are they bastards in Kilkenny?
Probably.
There are probably many bastards in Kilkenny. Just
You
like
bastards!
Many bastards everywhere.
The weird thing that's tripping me out is their 25th year icon is a big, huge thing of shit.
What?
On South Park, they have all these ads for 25th year, and the 25 is a big, huge shit.
That's funny.
That sounds like those two.
Yeah.
So, just in case if they edit the article, I went ahead and copy and pasted a piece of the article so everybody knows that I read it, and I read it right, okay? So, Britannica said, born March 12th, 1685, near Desert College, near Thomastown, ? Thomastown? I thought I said Jamestown. Uh-oh. Maybe I didn't read it right, huh? No, it was Thomastown. Yeah, just cut and paste Thomastown where I said Jamestown. Okay. Thomastown.
Yeah, Jamestown is where all the people killed themselves with fucking Kool-Aid.
Yeah, so anyways, Thomastown, ? Yeah, and then it said County Kilkenny, Ireland. So, there was a question mark there. I copied and pasted it, so there's that. Given that there is this holiday that recently passed that is credited to Irish heritage, I think this episode is perfect because, Kilkenny County is in Ireland. Now, there's not much mentioned about George's, early lifehood or early childhood,
But we go into the fact that college must have been different for the Irish during this time, since George is claimed to have completed several years of education in a college at Kilkenny's College, which is where he enrolled in 1696 at the age of 11. There, he studied until he entered into Trinity College in Dublin, Ireland, at the age of 15 in 1700. Trinity College during this time is thought to have been a great training ground for humans in a more modern approach of thinking about the world. Some have even described this more modern thought as hostile, quote-unquote, towards Aristotle. I don't blame them. I got a hostile when I was reading Aristotle, too. Imagine having to actually read the whole thing and then write essays on it. I would have gone mad.
Yeah, you hated that shit.
Yes, I did. It was redundant.
Boring.
It was like a wooden wheel, Void. Like the wooden one we talked about in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the kind of one you put on a nun's imaginary bus that you put the hood up and played with your 6x6 in there.
I was trying to start a fire.
You're trying to start a fire. Oh, that's a good use of wood. Now, where was I?
Talking about him putting a 6x6 under the hood.
Oh, back to topic. That's where I was. So, back to topic. Are you guys okay? You're not passed out from my gas?
I think I'll be okay. I'm glad I'm shitting. I'm glad I'm shitting like a different direction today, though.
It's a good idea. Yeah. After going to the school, Trinity College, George received a bachelor's degree in 1704 at the age of 19. In 1707, we have George becoming a fellow of the Trinity College and being ordained at the Anglican Church soon afterwards. It's noted by source 2 that George began his philosophical commentaries in 1707 as well. This early thought process documented on paper allows people to see how others may change their beliefs throughout life, and especially if you gather data from prior to the age of full frontal lobe development till a much later date. Because in 1707, our sapien of the homo of interest was at the age of 22, not 25.
Oh, that's what they believed back then?
What?
That you developed by 22?
No, I was just making note that he wrote a philosophical book when he was 22.
Oh.
3 years prior to the believed age of full frontal lobe development.
Ah, yes. You're close, but you're a little bit undercooked.
Yes, and even then, a lot of people are still never really fully cooked.
Humans.
Yeah, usually humans kind of never get fully cooked.
Yeah, these humans are very low in the IQ department.
Or they get burnt. They get too cooked. And they get burnt out, and they just are, living a life of not being fully there.
That's crazy. I also see people that don't have common sense at my job, and they do stuff that annoys the hell out of me.
Oh, man, try living with somebody like that.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah, you talk about me, woman.
I didn't say your name.
Oh, Tom Nye?
Yes.
I haven't seen him for a while.
Yes, Tom Nye.
We get to find him. We have got to find Tom Nye.
Good luck.
Hope he didn't get stuck in the walls.
Maybe that's who's over at Jesus' house.
Oh, you know what? That makes so much sense. I saw him eyeing that place for a while.
It just does a cutaway of the Irish accent. You what in the world or whatever his crazy accent is.
Yeah, Tom Nye is totally Irish.
He's Scottish.
Not.
No, he's Cockney, right?
You're funny.
He's Cockney, right?
Yeah, he's definitely Cockney.
Yeah.
He's got a cock in me.
He's a killer in you. Sorry, singing Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins.
It's a 90s band.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Smash pumpkins on stage.
No,
Good thing a scapegoat doesn't do that.
we should start doing it. Maybe we'll attract more goats.
You know what? That is a great political thinking there.
We need less sheep.
More goats.
Yeah, goats are better
Bah.
than sheep.
Yes. Even though there is that other band that one could reference, Void.
What's that?
The band called Cake.
Oh,
You know, sheep go to heaven, goats go to hell.
yes.
Yeah, anyways, let's go to something more, sensical, like this. Okay? As one would logically assume, George was critical of both Descartes and John Locke Jr., along with several others that were listed and some that were not listed in an article on Britannica, but I will not mention them because I'm more focused on how I dislike Descartes and John Locke's writings.
So it's something you agreed upon with him?
To a degree.
Okay.
You know, you may have disagreements with both of them, and I do. Yeah. From 1707, and I imagine earlier, George thought long and hard about time and sight. The first publicized work credited to George was titled Arithmetica and Miscellanea Mathematica, which is thought to have been a thesis work where he would analyze his initial philosophical thoughts, questioning empiricism, which is the standpoint John Locke supported regarding experience being everything. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah.
Like, experience can that, but your own thoughts can also form stuff, too.
Yeah, but thoughts also come from experiences.
Yep.
Are you saying thoughts become things?
Yes.
Well, you can make it a reality. That's
Yeah,
our special
definitely.
gift.
Oh, that's just fucking crazy. I never heard of anything like that
Yeah.
ever in my life.
Sounds very metaphysical.
I believe it's called
Extremely.
manifestation.
What?
Oh, boy. You gonna manifest something?
Maybe a girlfriend, but that's kind of hard.
You could. You could easily do that, Void.
How's that?
You know that song? I forgot who did it. Just hang on loosely, but
Rub
don't
a
let
dub
go.
dub. 3 minutes.
Quit
see what I
talking
did?
about your fantasies, woman.
Yeah, we're talking about getting a woman, not 3 men in your tub.
God damn it.
You said.
I'm manifesting over here.
I got to say, just hang on loosely, but don't let go. Whoa, whoa. If you hold on too tightly, you're gonna lose control.
Oh,
Children gonna get smashed in the head for coming down here when I'm trying to record. Okay, we're done moving.
yes.
Okay. The original argument from George, relied on the subjective experiences people have with their sensations. This was replaced by an argument that in order to exist, that something has, to be perceived. This reminds me of Schrodinger's cat.
Or a tree making noise falling in the forest.
Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of like the idea that if everything has to be noticed, then a hidden snake or a spider wouldn't be able to sneak up on you and bite you. Because you never perceived that snake or spider until it actually did it. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I was there before I perceived it. How did that happen? Oh,
Like the bicycler I almost hit today.
yeah, you didn't perceive him until he popped right out there.
Oh no, but the thing is, I saw him before he saw me, so I had already stopped in the middle of an intersection.
You weren't perceived by him, so you didn't exist until he saw you, even though you were about to hit him.
Well, no, I was completely stopped. I had already stopped. He's like, why, stop sign? I'm like, I stopped twice.
Yeah, some people are kind of funny. He probably believes in Schrodinger's cat.
Well, the thing is, he was very close to things, so I couldn't see him until I was already in the intersection.
Yeah,
But I was going slow.
and even if you don't like the hidden snake analogy or the spider analogy, we can have another one where if you close your eyes right now and walk about the room you're in without any shoes on, and don't pay attention, and believe that you're walking on an infinite plane and nothing is there, and you will stub your toe. Now, you shall be happy to stub your toe, because then you know reality is there even if you perceive it or not.
That's crazy.
Yeah, imagine that.
Stubbing your toe.
Can
Ow.
prove everything.
It's weird. It's a certain kind of pain, and it hurts a lot, then it stops. It's kind of weird.
Yes.
It hurts a lot and then it stops?
Well, it's like a quick pain.
I don't know. One time I broke my toenail.
Yeah, one time my whole fucking side of my foot was bruised. I swear I broke my baby toe.
Yeah, remember that one time when I stuck my toe up your ass on accident when I was trying to walk out to the restroom in the middle of the night, Void? Oh, you are knocked out unconscious, huh?
Yeah, you're just dragging my body, and I wondered how the fuck I woke up on the floor.
That's how you woke up next to the toilet, Void. Wanting to puke.
You ripped my guts out. Fun.
I might have stepped on your balls.
Hence the baby arm.
Oh, is that what happened to the original 3x3?
I thought that had something to do with you wanting to puke, but yes, that could make your 3x3 baby arm. That's a fat baby arm.
That's a fat, short baby arm.
Yeah, you got an interesting baby arm. Where'd you find that one? Area 51? Void, I told you not to go there
His
anymore.
mommy gave it to him.
They're on to us right there.
I gave it to him when he was a child, and he just got attached to it, so we always wanted that one.
Nice. You got attached to a baby arm. How did it become a
A
detachable
3x3 baby arm. Well, you
Jesus
just
Christ.
said you guys you
Ah,
stepped on it.
whores. I spelled Coco. Fuck me in the ass.
Let's go.
Void, get your lube you were making for those nuns. Oh, never mind. Get the lube from your friend who has all those guns. Now I have a stain on my pants. A big brown stain on my pants.
Okay, hold
And it's
on.
not coming from my asshole.
Yeah, I got the oil on my shoes and pants today. That sucked.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
hop-
we can call it oil all you want, but we know what that is, right?
No, it was actually motor oil from changing the car.
Yes, motor. Is that what you call your anus now?
No, I was literally changed my oil today.
Yes, with that special pan you hover over instead of a toilet. That was actually in the last episode.
Oh,
Nut gatherer is gone.
she's going to go change her oil.
Yeah, everybody doing that today right now. It's a great day, Sunday, to change your oil. Look at that. Should I put that in that toilet? It kind of looks like I wiped an asshole. It's all brown and looks like diarrhea. It smells good, though. So let's go back to George. Something that was called the quote-unquote master argument was that of a person that imagines items without anyone else there to perceive them. Then there are only two situations. I don't gather much sense out of this statement whatsoever. But anyways, the two situations are the perceivable or are the perceptible in the observer. Okay. Something about these items actually being there since they were perceived just in the mind. At this point, it seems like nothing was congruent in this line of reasoning whatsoever to me. It may be because I didn't understand a single thing I read.
Fun.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to make sense of people who write things way more complicated than they need to be. But the main thing I know that you have to take away from this, or at least if you want to take away anything, would be that all items in the physical realm are there inside your mind because you perceive them inside your mind, which is true because your mind is putting together all your sensations to make sense of what you're sensing.
Sort of like how we can have a sense of being and then shift from a sense of being and feel disoriented.
Sort of like how people who have a different brain structures, like severely autistic people, will experience life completely differently. That's why some freak out at loud noises or too many noises going on. Just the leaves rustling in trees may cause someone who has a completely different brain to go into some cataclysmic drama.
Well, the thing is also they might have a sensitivity to it too. That kind of there's overstimulation.
Yes. So, like, everything they perceive is a different thing from me. The original argument, though, that I liked that George scrapped from his very early years was that everything that you sense is subjective, which is the perfect argument for trying to say everything exists for how you perceive it. Now, later on in the article on Britannica, they went in to say George didn't think that, at the time, George didn't think that things never existed unless if you perceived them. There's actually quotes regarding this. Let's go here. Quote, "You may hold, if you will, that objects of sense have only an in and out existence, that they are created and annihilated with every turn of a man's attention, but do not follow those views on me. I do not hold them," end quote. And then, in this book that was just mentioned, existence is percipe, or perciper. The horse is in the stable. The books are in the study as before, which means that even if you're not seeing them, they're still there, but the way you experience them are there in the way you perceive them, which is quite literally what happens. But he sounds like he agrees with me more and more. Like, in this one, makes perfect sense. It's not like they're not there. It's just they're only there when you perceive them, and you experience them through the way you perceive them. There was a letter that they took a quote from out of context that Berkeley wrote to one of his friends, noted as not a philosophical human being. And it's, quote, "I question not the existence of anything that we perceive by our senses." Now to the untrained mind, or the mind that does not like to think upon what they read. When you say, "I do not question the existence of anything that we perceive by our senses," meaning that everything is there, it's just not the way we experience it until we perceive it. Let's go on. So although my correlation sensation had me thinking that he was along the lines of the Schrodinger cat people, which happened hundreds of years after his lifetime, there's a lot of proof that during this time when he was writing his book and after he published it, he did not believe that kind of talk. Now, we have the only reason why we're talking about Mr. Berkeley, which is not his philosophical standpoint whatsoever, which is kind of interesting because there's a lot of other philosophical standpoints that were taken into consideration on Washington.edu's timeline, except for this one. But we're going on to the other publication, which is of the year 1709. When Mr. Berkeley was 24 years old, he wrote this essay called "An Essay Towards a New Theory of Vision." So impactful it's said to have been to his career that this was called George Berkeley's quote-unquote golden period of authorship. The main takeaway from this book is that objects of sight are not without the mind, and that nothing truly exists, with openly contradicting statements from his previous book. I imagine that this might be a simple observation that one could take, that someone is changing their thoughts the more they live and question their thoughts. And a more cynical take on this would be is that George Berkeley had a deeper desire to take something that was more palatable to people living in his time, to take them to another book, which would say nothing really exists at all. So he's flip-flopping here.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, from 22 to 24. He flipped.
He flips flops.
Yeah, so this is a very critical point in his lifetime, too.
Maybe the brain development.
Yeah, maybe he hit his head too hard so it couldn't develop anymore. It doesn't exist unless if I see it. And then it only exists inside my mind. He sounds like a Matrix guy. From the 1600s.
There is no spoon. Only opium den.
Where were you this last week, Ford? Where were you really? You Uber driver, priest, nuns, what?
At home and work.
At home and work. Did you go back to where we got the Panda?
No, Panda Express was closed.
Oh, okay.
Isn't Panda Express somewhere you eat?
Yes. He probably assumed that he was going to eat the panda.
Okay.
Now, in the year of 1709 as well, Berkeley was made a deacon and ordained a priest in 1710. He maintained his fellowship at his academic institution for 17 years as well. We have a little timeline here from 1709 to 1710. George was a librarian. Ooh, sexy librarians. Then from 1710 to 1711, George was a junior dean, along with being a tutor and a lecturer on 3 subjects that were mentioned were divinity, Greek, and Hebrew, even though I'm kind of surprised that since he's Catholic and he's heavy related into the church, that he didn't teach Latin at all. Imagine he would have, especially if he taught Greek and Hebrew. Now, once 1712 came around, and came around his face, and then came around his mom, who wasn't named, another book was published called Passive Obedience. Sounds like a good book for domesticating animals, don't you think?
Yes,
Catholics
perfect.
are animals?
Humans are animals, yes. But humans don't like being called animals. Okay, the nut gatherer is looking around for Tom Nye once again. So, this book, as one could assume, Passive Obedience, sounds like a good book for domesticating animals, right? As one would assume, Passive Obedience was a political piece of garbage, defending his identity as a quote-unquote Tory human, meaning he believed in the divinity of some political leadership and royalty in the church, At the age of 28 in 1713, George took a leave of absence for the first time, and he went outside of Ireland. He was met with a great fanfare, according to Britannica, by a bunch of conservatives who are, trying to conserve religious power over the general populace. One of those is named Sir Richard Steele. Sounds like Hard Richard.
It's hard to steal.
Yeah, at this point I would have thought Nutgatherer would have made a dick joke. Sir Richard Steele, and I said, sounds like Hard Richard. Then she would have said,
Steely Dick.
more like Hard Dick. Yeah, Steely Dick, Steely Dan's dick. Yeah, anyways. This big hard dick was notable for me since he wrote an essay for something, or he wrote several essays for something called The Guardian Against the Free Thinkers Void.
That just seems kind of weird.
Of course he would, be knighted. Or, of course, someone who was knighted would think that royalty must be maintained. So you got to keep on, pushing back the free thinkers. None of those free thinkers, they might ruin everything for the people in power. After Sir Harddick, we have the Pope. The Pope, the poopy Pope. Pope Alexander. Alexander's poopiness. Who is quoted for saying, every virtue under heaven. Basically, credit given to George Berkeley. And he also went to the embassy of Sicily as a chaplain with some other human named Charles Mordaunt. And he had a title of Third Earl of Peterborough. George has said he called this Mordaunt a really good ambassador. I don't know. And now, at the age of 30, George wrote an essay as a response to the Jacobite Rebellion in 1715. It was titled as Advice to the Tories Who Have Taken the Oath. Okay. I'm not going to go into that one. In 1716 to 1720, George spent time in Italy as a tutor to the bishops, the Bishop of Clogher's son, named George Ashe. In those 4 years spent in Italy, George filled up 4 journals, giving descriptions and even pictures of sightseeing, according to Britannica. In 1721, George Berkeley published yet another book titled De Motu. I tried to find the translation for this title, but came up empty-handed, so I will now assume what the translation is, and it's of motion. That's what I want to say, because motu kind of reminds me of motion. The reason being why I assume this, not just the words itself, is that this book is addressing disagreements that George Berkeley had with notions that Isaac Newton published, and more specifically, the concept of time, space, and motion being absolute. Later on, George would be credited for one who understood enough to be the precursor to more modern humans, such as Mach and Einstein. because they realized that it was all relative, not absolute. Now, by 1621, the New World was getting a lot of hype, even though the Old World is as new as the Old World, since it's all part of the same goddamn planet. We shall not get into that nonsense anymore. Anyways, this is the year George wrote an essay about how the westward expansion would save the Great Britain. In 1722, George had hatched a plan later to be published in 1724 called A Proposal for the Better Supplying of Churches. From what I read, it seems like he wanted to get 20,000 pounds from the British government so they could supply Bermuda churches to educate the native children. But it went to someone else who had a plan for Georgia's colony. Which is funny to me, since Georgia, and George Berkeley had a different idea, but someone had another idea in Georgia. One might say this is coincidence or irony, depending upon your reasoning. By the year of 1728, at the age of 43, just like our other sapien of the homo, the guy who liked to lick gangrene, Antonio Valsava, yes. George Berkeley got married at the age of 43, just like Antonio.
So I guess front of his life was wrought with being busy with work.
Yeah, trying to make a name for himself or building up his career to get his name for himself placed. Be that top ape on the hill.
Yes.
So, this woman, apparently, I didn't even get the age. Next episode we'll get the age though.
Okay.
We're about ready to stop.
Okay.
Yeah, so the female sapien homo, though, that George Berkeley had married was named Anne, who was a daughter of the Chief Justice Forster.
So Anne Forster turned into Anne Berkeley.
Yes. Following the marriage, George and Anne went to Newport of Rhode Island in America. It wasn't until 1731 when George figured out that the grant for his Bermuda indoctrination camp wasn't going through. By this time, George already purchased a piece of earth and had a house there called Whitehall where many people would come, and he preached inside his house with group meetings or around the neighborhood because he was a Catholic guy. At this point in George's life, I am going to stop the recording.
Okay.
Yes, we're going to go into a part 2.
Okay.
If you don't like it, that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, what?
I was just agreeing with you.
Okay, it seems as though the nut gatherer had found her man.
Okay.
Tom Nye.
Okay.
And we're going to record next week.
Okay.
Part 2.
All right.
If you like this podcast, go to social media. We got the Gork Mouth on TikTok.
You can get a free t-shirt.
Yeah, Gork Mouth is also on Face Fuck Your Mom book. Yeah, you could get a free t-shirt if you like this podcast. You got to prove it, though. You got to follow, subscribe, like, and write a review and prove it to us. And then you have to actually talk to us and show us where. And you'll get a free t-shirt. It glows in the dark. It's 1 out of 100. And then you'll get a title as a part of the tribe. We have like 16 tribe members, don't we, Boyd?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we got 16 tribe members. The most recent one was Uncle Bust-a-Nut.
Yay.
The other one was Nut Launcher.
Uh-huh.
That was Adam.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We have the Squirrel Hunter, and the Nut Gatherer is actually a tribe member.
Okay.
She became a host with us.
Yes.
And that's Void's mom.
Yes.
Okay. Until next time, we leave in peace.
Yes, we leave in peace.
Kick it. Oh, yeah. Bring it to me, baby.